Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Behind the Screen. I am your host, as usual, Jason Azevedo, and I am so happy to be back live with you folks on the show this week. It's been a little while since we had some live content. Part of that is because of some personal stuff, and part of that is also because it was the holiday weekend, and we just wanted to, as a cast, spend some time with our families and kind of enjoy the holiday weekend with those that we love. So we are back, though, behind the screen tonight, Thursday Players Table, and then Sunday Nolzers. We've missed a bunch of Nolzers, but we'll be back on Sunday for an episode of Nolzers. It'll be a good one. And then we're back for episode 9 on Monday, and we're super excited and pumped to be able to say that and be there and do it, and it is awesome, and I'm just really excited to be here. And back with you all. Tonight, if you want to ask a question, so for those of you who may be new to Behind the Screen, this is your kind of spoilerific opportunity to get behind the DM screen with myself. I DM the Into the Mist series on our Twitch, as well as on the D&D Twitch. And you can ask us questions about Into the Mist. You can ask us questions about Tides of Wildbound or anything that we do as RealmSmith that you have in that noggin of yours. It's been a couple weeks, so I'm expecting a bunch of questions. You can also ask us about questions about the last episode, which was a doozy. And I'd love to be able to answer those and go from there. We have this awesome little potion bottle here beside me. It's just our way of letting us know that you're out there and that you love us and support us. If it blinks once purple, it means that you've followed us. If it blinks multiple times blue, it means you've subscribed or spent bits. And I already saw some blue flashing, so we want to thank you guys for doing that. We have an amazing Discord role-playing community. If you're interested in that, the mods, the Smith Guardians, will post that in the chat. There it is right there. We'll post that in the chat so that you can check it out. It's your opportunity to actually roleplay as part of our world. If you subscribe at Tier 1, Tier 2, or Tier 3, you get certain perks, and that is subscribing on Twitch. So in our Twitch channel, if you subscribe at Tier 1, Tier 2, or Tier 3, you get perks for your characters to roleplay in our Discord, which also have quests that are run by our Smith Guardians, which feed into our storyline. There's some epic stuff happening right now, and I'm sure I'll get some questions about that tonight. But also, our stream also feeds back into that world as well. So you want to check that out if you haven't already subscribed. And we want to thank everyone that has. The community is pretty freaking awesome. You guys are amazing. Shad has already posted some questions for me. Before I do that, though, on September 20th at 11 a.m. we are being featured in D&D Celebration. That is the launch of Rime of the Frost Maiden. It is where a lot of the streamers are coming together and running Icewind Dale one-shots. I will be doing one. It's very exciting. I have a killer cast that I will announce probably next week. That is not our regular cast. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm very excited about it, and I cannot wait to share all of that with you guys. But stay tuned for more information on that. D&D Celebration, 11 a.m. to 1 on Sunday, September the 20th, which is also my son's birthday. So it'll be a great day all around. Also, want to thank our sponsor for this episode, as well as our whole season of Into the Mist, and that is Mythrol Armory. Right now, they have an incredible Kickstarter out there. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's Perplexing Puzzles. You can check that out at puzzles.mythrolarmory.com, and the link will also be in the chat. You can check that out, and it's a really amazing kind of immersive puzzle box that isn't only puzzles that you can use at the table, tactile ways to solve things with your players, which I love, but it also comes with a bunch of narrative stuff as well to tell you how to use it, stories, and how to kind of weave it into your own home narrative. So anyways, really awesome, amazing stuff from Mythrol, and you guys can check that out at that site. And again, the link is in the chat. Let's jump into some questions. I'm a little rusty. You can tell my brain's a little doing some circles here. So let's just jump right into the questions, and then maybe, as usual, we'll get into some questions for you guys at the end, depending on how many questions y'all have for me tonight. Again, if you do have a comment or a question, just write comment or question in capital letters before your comment or question, and I will try and get to all of them tonight as we go. Because I'm not reading the chat just yet, it's hard to kind of keep up as y'all are crazy in the chat, which is awesome. But we want to make sure that we catch everything that we can. So our awesome Smith Guardians take it all down for me so that I can review and read on stream, which is great. Just trying to get Twitch up here on my, oh, it's gonna be loud, there we go. Okay. Question number 1 from Bernardo Paiva. Do you guys have any plan to open a table with players from other countries? Good question. So we do have, so we're in Canada, and we do have Nora and Matthew Lillard and Matt Mercer who have played from California, but we are actually interested and thinking about and looking at the possibility of bringing in more guests into our live streams. We've been trying to have one guest in particular from a different country for some time now, and so we will continue to do that. So yeah, it is absolutely our plan to have guests from other countries, and frankly for us it's not about, you know, where they come from or anything like that. It's about weird, it stopped all of a sudden. It's really just about having friends playing D&D on a channel together, and those that love D&D are okay with us. Don't know why Sirenscape is acting the fool. My laptop is... Sorry about that, folks. I think my laptop's just been on way too long, and I haven't restarted it in a while. If it continues to do that, I'll have to... All right. Okay. Sasori asked, will my alchemist fire I sold to... oh, that is Sasori unfortunate. Asked... There we go. Oh, that is... Sorry, guys. I'm having hiccups here in Twitch, and it's causing me to not be able to mute. I am just going to shut down that window. I might have to restart my machine here, which won't affect the stream. Shouldn't. Okay. I love technical difficulties, folks. So this is payment for not being live enough in the last couple weeks. So I'm just going to pull the audio. Sorry about that. And I am going to restart the machine here because it is acting the fool. All right. Will my alchemist fire I sold to Grigori be something the players can receive? So for those of you that aren't aware or don't know about our Discord and how that works. So Grigori is a character played by Brandon who explains all of the items that the players get in-game from Extra Life. And Grigori specifically visited some of the camps a couple weeks ago, and they ended up exchanging some items and things like that. And that is one of our ways to get items into the game. Last session, the players also visited one of the Vistani camps, and they talked about crafting a bunch of stuff for them. And so, again, the intention always is to get stuff from you guys to us, and Grigori and the camps and the Discord are ways to do that. So if you want to be involved in that, definitely check out the Discord. And yes, they should get it in-game, absolutely 100%. Bernardo asks, are you going to use that old rule of dread companion in Into the Mist? Finally asked it in the correct place. He. That's a good question. I don't know. I haven't decided that yet. I'm going to look more into it, and maybe you'll find out. But it's very cool. Broken Looney, is there a chance of RealmSmith doing a World of Darkness tabletop game? I'm a huge fan of Vampire and the Changing Breeds and would love to watch this group play. Interesting. We haven't really discussed it. We've been looking at potentially doing some other systems and looking into what other tabletop RPG systems we can do. We had a lot of fun doing Cyberpunk when we did it. It's one of the most viewed videos on our channel. In fact, it is the most viewed video. I think it has like 165,000 views on part 1 of our Cyberpunk. If you haven't seen that, DM'd by, or GM'd by the wonderful Mike Pondsmith himself, the creator of Cyberpunk, which the video game was then created from Cyberpunk Red, which is the tabletop RPG game. If you want to check that out on our YouTube page. It was a blast, and we'd love to do more of that kind of stuff. But maybe we will look into the World of Darkness. Suggestion. But there aren't any plans in place yet for that. One more question from Bernardo. Last game with the community participating was really awesome. Congrats, guys. Thank you very much. And, you know, one thing that's really important to us here at RealmSmith is that we create as an immersive an experience as possible. Excuse me while I plug this back in. Please watch your ears. There. As an immersive experience as possible, it's really super important to us. And it's something that we've really strived towards the entirety of RealmSmith's existence, really. And finally, we're here, and thanks for the follow. Finally, we're here. Finally, I feel like we've dug in enough and created the mechanisms required to be able to provide our players, or rather our community, the ability to actually affect the game while it's happening in the background, and we can forge this kind of story together. It's super exciting for us. You know, you will be seeing more of that. We're trying to get as much as possible when it comes to community involvement into the stream and into our experience as we can. Sirenscape is back. I do have a message here that I have to read from the Smith Guardians. I will get back to you in one sec. It's a long one. A little update from the Discord. I will read this, actually. All camps, there were a number of different camps in the Discord, and right now we've actually brought all the camps back together into a central camp called Campgakus. At the foot of Campgakus, we have some really exciting things in store for you coming soon. They narrowly escaped a zombie horde, several zombie T-Rexes, which were spitting zombies. So they had zombie T-Rexes, spitting zombies, several and 4 zombie beholders. Sadly, 2 players were killed today trying to retrieve some of the Vardos that were left behind in the hurry to escape Friday evening. And Sterling has also been in the new camp. So cool. And this is what I'm talking about. The ability to be involved in the live stream and affect the actual gameplay is a really awesome and incredible opportunity for us. Steve-O and Kurth, I think we lost, and we're sad to say, but it's part of D&D, and it is Barovia, folks, and we warned you. You can't say we didn't warn you. JCLC question, will the one-shot Curse of Strahd you did a couple of weeks ago be uploaded to YouTube? Yes. If you want to, we're trying to get a hold of it, and we will be getting a hold of it soon from the folks at Jasper's Game Day. If you haven't seen it, and for those of you that don't know, we did a one-shot for Jasper's Game Day with some of our cast and some of our community members that had bid for a seat to play with us. We raised a bunch of cash for Jasper's Game Day, which raises awareness for suicide prevention and education and awareness. And it was really great, but you guys can check it out at the Jasper's Game Day channel if you haven't seen it yet. But it takes place, it's a one-shot that takes place between Season 1 and Season 2 of Into the Mist. But make sure you check that out. Everyone did an incredible job. It was such a joy, and it was an incredible cause to be able to support that is very close to our hearts. Sakura says, please don't watch me. No, watch it. Sakura, you were great. You were wonderful in it. and it was so much fun. MJ Cook asks, how did Josh and Julian become part of the RealmSmith team? How did you meet? They do a great job. They absolutely do. MJ, just so, and for those of you, again, who may be new, Josh and Julian are they have a thankless job, which is mostly being in production on Monday nights, and then they also run the Discord. And they're kind of the go-to kind of caretakers of the Discord community. They're also part of my plot team, especially on Tides of Wildmount, and they're really part of the backbone of what RealmSmith does, especially from a narrative and production perspective. I posted at some point on Facebook asking if there's anybody in the area who had production experience, because we were looking for some producers. Because just the ability to produce from the table and all that, we just need some full-time, really good producers who could be here all the time and love D&D. And an old friend of mine suggested Julian, who then joined, and then Julian brought Josh, and it has been incredible. I can't thank the guys enough for what they do. Like I said, it's thankless. Sometimes I thank them with food, especially Chinese food, but they have been part of the reason why I've been able to do what I can do, because I don't think I could do it without them. In fact, I know I couldn't do it without them. They've been awesome, and they deserve all of the praise for and all of the accolades for the incredible experience that we have on a weekly basis. They've been incredible. I am actually out of questions, folks, right now. So if you have more questions, please make sure to enter them in. Again, a question or even comments is good too. We can also kind of transfer into, I'll still take questions, but I'll ask you folks a question, and I can watch in the chat as they kind of all come up here. But thank you all for joining us. I know we've been off. Some people didn't know if we'd be live tonight, but wanted to make sure that we connected with you guys and we were here. All right. What was, and last episode was a big one. A heck of a lot happened, and it was very exciting. I'd like to ask you folks what your favorite moment from last episode was. If you guys remember, it was episode 8. Episode 9 is coming up on Monday. And if you guys can kind of think about that a little bit, I know it's going to take some time maybe to jog your memory about what happened actually last episode. But there was a hag dream situation that occurred that was super creepy. And Rictavio voices I just saw in the chat. That I actually tried to do a Matt Lillard Rictavio impression off the top. It was sketchy at best, but it was fun. We also visited the Vistani camp, and among other things. And for the first time, let me say this. We have some seasoned D&D players at the table. We also have some players that are fairly new. So Dave Morin, who plays Muskoka, and Joel Auger, who plays Falfer, aren't brand new to D&D. They've been playing D&D for years, but they only started really when I came back to D&D. And I don't think Dave had ever played any role-playing games prior to that. Joel had been involved in video games, so he understands gameplay and stuff like that, but they're fairly new to the whole Dungeons & Dragons world in the last 4 years or so, 3 or 4 years. So they've been playing for 4 years. Seems like a long time, but fairly new. And I've really only totally experienced me. I know Joel played with it as a kid, but I think Dave's only 2 DMs were me and Brandon, I think, is the only 2 that have... oh, and I guess some of the community as well. Adam's been playing for some time with his family and some friends. And then Nora has also been playing for some time. And Brandon is well-versed and has been playing for some time in DMs as well. The biggest moment in Dungeons & Dragons for me, as a Dungeon Master, by far, is always the moment when... there's 2 things. First off, when the characters realize, or the players realize, I can do whatever I want. This isn't a video game. This isn't level by level. This isn't something that, you know, we do one thing and unlock something else necessarily. that we could literally do whatever we want in this moment, given our character's abilities. I can't fly if flight is an ability of mine, but I can absolutely punch that person if I want to, or I can walk out that door right now if I want to, or I can pick that item up if I want to. Whether and in a video game, for example, there are rules that dictate, can you pick up stuff? Can you do that? And in D&D, really, the imagination and the rules, the basic rules of the world are what dictate that. Gravity, all those sorts of things. So that's the first thing. The second thing is when players start to pick up the hints and clues that have been given to them and start to treat the world like it's a real world. Last episode that happened, and I was so excited to see it. It was kind of the first time in Into the Mist that the players kind of came together, the group were cohesive and had the ability to look at everything they've been given, all the hints, Madame Eva's readings, all of the paperwork that they have, and say, what are the priorities of what we need to do, and how are we going to do it? And that's the difference between a railroaded kind of like, we just go from one thing to another campaign, and a campaign that's living, breathing, spontaneous. They said, we want to go to Madame Eva's tent. I did not expect it to happen. I wasn't totally prepared for it. As some DMs, you can't prepare for everything. I rolled with the punches, and it was fun. But that is what I love about Dungeons & Dragons, and I was so excited to see my players kind of be able to do that and to come to that place where they could start to dissect the world and the things that I've told them and given them, and then be able to, it was just so good. All right, back to your answers here. Loved seeing the cast interacting with the Discord community. That was awesome. That was from Jazzfall. Drunken Falfer Mizik says, Falfer meeting Zelda was on one of my favorite moments. Oh, Writing Machine said that. It was great. First of all, Zelda's voice was on point. You do not expect a bearded, manly man to have a really high-pitched voice, and it was awesome. So for those of you that didn't see it, two halflings met, and one was a female, and Falfer was like, hello. It was really great. I don't know why he has a Barovian accent. But question from MJ Cook. I know you have said 5e is your favorite edition, but are there any rules or elements, excuse me, Tuesday nights? I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. Any rules or elements from past editions you miss? That's a good question. I played 3rd edition briefly, 3.5 actually, briefly before we went into 5th, about 4 or 5 years ago. I don't miss Thaco. I can tell you what I don't miss. Not really. And I say that because I'm not saying 5th edition is the perfect edition. But what I am saying is it's so simple. Like the advantage-disadvantage system is so simple that it's really accessible. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything off the top of my head that I can think of from past editions that don't exist in 5th edition. I don't know. Let me think on that. I'll get back to that if I think of anything. The hag dream was literally terrifying. You described that so well. Summer Set says, I freaked myself out. Sometimes when I talk about like the hag doing things, I get goosies too. Sakura says, Fall Friends Zelda, the next couple in Barovia. Bernardo says, that was awesome. And the monkey plush moment, laughed my socks off. Esmeralda meeting Sidfar was great, right? So Esmeralda, who is a Vistani, meeting Sidfar, who is Elder Barbanegra from Camp Barbanegra, and them finally meeting, which was great. Lots of people like the Dream Hag. Good to know. Hello, Mr. Edward Longleaf. I keep doing Rictavio voices around the house now. Forsooth! I love Matt so much. He's so fun. I keep trying to do Vistani voices and always end up as Falfer. Oh, I should have brought... I got my swag bag today from D&D Celebration. Oh, if you guys want me to, if I get enough votes in the chat, I will go up and get it. Forgot to bring it. I know I now say my child to my 3-year-old, and Rick Topfield was my child. Falfer is a good one, though. Hope you had a good holiday yesterday. Thank you very much, Edward. I did have a good holiday weekend. Always a massive undertaking to DM that for sure. I used to DM in 2nd edition for Dragonlance. Yes. Thaco, I'm assuming, is what you talked about. Zelda did a fantastic job. First yawn of the night. Don't get me started, Sakura. Love it. I don't miss the edition trope says. Love Dragonlance. I'd love to see a Dragonlance campaign at some point. Question, do you ever get so wrapped up in what's happening with the roleplay that you forget what you said as an NPC? All the time. Not only that, folks, I have to tell you, we get lots of comments. So, most of them are great and constructive. Some of them not so great. Some of them are just demands of what people think we should do. And so we took it all with a grain of salt. But we thank you all for your comments on our YouTube videos. It's important, and it's how we kind of gauge our forward momentum and the changes we'll make and so on. But man, one of the things the worst part, first of all, ADHD. Second of all, when somebody tells me a number, I did this much damage, I will be 2 steps ahead that I will not hear them and I have to ask them again. I have to change that. I'm going to work on changing that. That is one thing that is difficult for me to do. I've always had a problem with it, but I need to listen to that number and then put it in my brain because my brain doesn't hold on to things like it used to. It doesn't process like it did when I had a young brain. Now I have a 41-year-old brain and it's a little broken. So bear with me, folks. But yes, man, sometimes roleplay is so good that whatever I had planned to say as an NPC isn't even worth saying. It's happened before. So I will, sometimes, NPCs will just be silent because I don't want to take away from what's happening at the table. So yeah, that happens all the time. Sakura says, I want to see your Ravenlift descriptions are level 9,000. Thank you, Roman Wolf. Wow. Appreciate that. Yes, get it, please. Bag. People are entitled, okay, I won't say that, but yes, it's true. Comment from Baziel68. Old-time D&D fan here. Been playing off and on since the Red Box in 1983. Just wanted to say thank you for Into the Mist. My wife and I are close to finishing Season 1. As a long-standing fan of Ravenloft, it's great to watch. Looking forward to the 2nd season. Man, let me tell you, Baziel, and I hope we don't spoil too much for you in these shows. So you should catch up. It's one thing for people who have never experienced Dungeons and Dragons to come to our table and, enjoy the spectacle, enjoy the production, enjoy all that stuff. That's one thing. It's a whole other thing entirely for people who have been playing for a long time, who honor the game, and it's a part of their soul. They've lived and breathed Dungeons & Dragons for as long as they can remember, or they just played as kids and have played since. For somebody like that to appreciate what we do means so much to me, specifically. Because it means that you've gone through all the rules, you've come through all of the iterations. I have a special place for Ravenloft in my heart because when I was 12, 13, I played with my DM in high school. Or actually, no, it was junior high I played. Ravenloft. And I have to tell you, that means a lot. Thank you, Baziel. You are welcome here in our community. We need those old-time D&D fans, and it means a lot. It really, really means a lot to hear that from you folks as well. And frankly, I'm not great with the rules. I'm more of a narrative, experience-based, immersive-based DM than I am a rules DM. People know that. I get get punished for it all the time in comments, and I take it because I know it. But the beauty of D&D is that people can play it however they want, and you'll hear that from everyone on the D&D staff. You'll hear that from Chris Perkins. You'll hear that from Jeremy Crawford. That D&D, the beauty of D&D is it is a rule set that is a guideline. And if I forget a rule or the players forget how a spell works or whatever, for me it's not a game, as it were. Sounds silly. It's not a game. It's not a game because games have winners and games have losers and points. Here it's an experience. It's a narrative story that we are weaving together. That's how we look at the way that we play D&D. That's how I look at the way that I run my campaign. And so the rules are important, yes. They're there for a reason. But at the same time, if there's a bad rules call, I don't want to get too bogged up on it. Because the narrative experience is more important. And frankly, I think that those narrative moments resonate with you guys way more than us figuring out what rule we got wrong and fixing it, which we tend to do all the time. We're constantly like, you know what, guys, sorry, we got that rule wrong, and we'll move on from there. Comment from Edward Longleaf. I know what you mean about that, Jason. My father introduced me, and I absolutely love it. I love this show, the community, and the cast. So thank you for just being awesome. I love you all. Man, Edward, thank you so much. We love you too. Awesome. Okay. Give me a minute. I'm going to run up and grab my swag bag. Oh, I have some other things I can show you too. I'll be back. I will be back. I can still talk to you guys, I think. Give me a sec. I forgot I got a bunch of goodies from WizKids this week. Shout out to WizKids. And I will set up the overcam here so that hopefully I can show you guys what I got. I'm so pumped. I forgot about this. It's been a week. It's been a week. All right. Woohoo! So excited. All right. So show us so we can be jealous, Jason. The beauty, Sakura, okay, you won't get the swag bag, but the beauty is the other things I'm going to show you can actually get at your local game store. Let me just see if this is going to work, folks. No shaky cam this time. It's just going to stay on the table, so don't you fret. Let's see if this works. Wasn't expecting to do this tonight, but it is a good time to do it. Okay. Please work. Didn't work. Ah, yeah, it did. Perfect, just a little delayed. Okay, so check these out. So first of all, there we go. Okay, so first of all, awesome D&D. You may be probably seeing this here first, folks. Rime of the Frost Maiden bag. I've been told I can show this. This is, I think it's a map. I think it's a map of Icewind Dale in like a kerchief, sort of scarf. It's a scarf. It's basically a scarf. That's what it is. It's a scarf with the Icewind Dale map on it. And then I got this really cool Icewind Dale notebook. Check that out. And inside, it's got the little ampersand on it. Graph paper for freaking maps. Awesome as that. We got a D&D pop socket for our phones. And this cool D&D bag. It's a dice bag. Dice. D&D dice. I think the 20 has... Does the 20 have an ampersand on it? Yes, the 20 has an ampersand on it, of course. Really cool. Thanks to D&D for all of that awesome swag. How cool is that? I just got them all today for our cast for D&D celebration. Super cool. Got a bunch of more comments here. Is that his basement? Edward says. Yes, it is. Our studio is in my basement. Bazio says, always first order of business is story, story, story. Game mechanics should only be a tool. Agreed. 100%. That's how we see it. Anybody ever had this problem? When I try to watch, it freezes and can't... Okay, that's a technical issue from Kelsey. That's fine. Well, that's just an amazing basement. So lucky. It took some work to get here. Not every basement looks like this. Comment. I really like your DM style. It's enjoyable to listen and watch. I like how you let the players do their thing. Also, thank you, Tam Good. And that's really important, actually, is that we let the table breathe. Another thing that I hold dear about DMing, or another tenet of my DM style is, you know, an old school mentality, and for those of you that are playing D&D for a long time, is that, you know, they're out, it's like DM versus players. You're out to kill your players. If you kill your players, it's like this competition. And for me, I think it's an old school notion. Some like that and you know, enjoy that DM style, Julian. But for me, I think, I'm kidding. Julian's not like that all the time. But for me, I think that it's my job as a DM to help my players have a great time and build a story together. And that is what brings me joy. Not killing them, not giving them challenges they can't overcome, but it's giving them challenges, seeing them overcome them, potentially dying in the process, which creates more narrative story. That's my job. And that's how I look at it. Dice Goblin wants the bag. Okay, all right. So let's see here. Everett Longleaf. Okay. All right. Next, I want to show you some of the things that WizKids sent me this week. Some of you may have seen this in the wild. It's already kind of been advertised. The first is the Icons of the Realm Curse of Strahd exclusive minis, folks. Look at this. So these are the Curse of Strahd Icons of the Realms mini set. There's two of them. The first is, it's got Morgantha there with her pie and the two other sisters. It's got the Abbot, which I didn't have a mini for, which would have been great. We've got the Abbot's bride that he's creating. And we've got the kids. Look at Rose and Thorn. So stinking cool. And they look exactly like they do in the book. And that is available soon, I think, in your local game stores. Keep an eye out. And that's the Covens and Covenants one. And then one of the minis got free in here. But then we have Legends of Barovia in here. First one is Piddlewick down there. We have a Van Richten in there. Esmeralda back there. This is the Esmeralda mini maybe that we'll use now. I know I have my painted one. We have Strahd in the back there. Lying down is Madame Eva. She kind of escaped from her spot. She's behind there. And Strahd. And some other characters that we haven't met yet. I know who they are, but I'm not going to spoil it. But anyways, that is a Legends of Barovia set. There's two of those. And then they sent me a bunch of premium characters that haven't been released yet, but are on their way. And I'm just going to kind of lay them out. We've got a Dragonborn Fighter. Now these are miniatures that they've they call them premium because they've been more intricately painted than your typical kind of blind box minis. It's a Furbolg. Cool as that. I think it's a Furbolg Druid. If you can see that or not, but I'm going to show you a couple here. I'm not going to bring them all out just yet, but you'll see them on stream at some point. Human Barbarian. Really cool. This one is a Halfling Rogue. This is the typical Halfling Rogue that you see in the Unpainted line, but just in much better detail. The eyes are great. I'm going to open that one up just so you can see the detail on these premium minis is unreal. You will open for me. There. Okay. Here. Just so you can see the detail on these. Those eyes, they're just, like I said, they're more detailed, more intricately painted than your typical blind box minis that you see from WizKids. And then I'm also going to open the Furbolg here. But these are intended to be used kind of as your kind of player character minis, I guess. It's like, you know, use these for, this Furbolg is really great. Check out this Furbolg Druid. Got like a fox hide on his shoulders. Really neat. So cool. Thank you, WizKids, as usual. Really cool stuff. Keep it coming because we love showing it. We love using it. I'm going to unpack all these so we can use them next Monday, hopefully in the stream. I don't think there have been any more comments or questions, and we are nearing the end of our time together, folks, even though I started a little late. Your painted Esmeralda is better, thank you. Wow, way better detail. Most Icons minis don't have washes shading. Yeah, exactly. They're you know, the Icons minis are mass kind of market. They're great to be able to pull them out and they're pre-painted, but I wish I had kind of the two. Oh, you know what? I do have kind of two of the similar gnomes here, or sorry, halflings. You can see the differences. But yeah, that premium one on the left is much more detailed than the other. Comment, in all respect, I love you, Mr. Jason. Thank you, Edward. We love you guys too. And you don't have to call me Mr. Jason, that's for sure. We love you guys. Thank you for keeping the experiment running. Yeah, it was an experiment. And what I've loved lately, I must say, is that you guys are going back and watching some of our old campaigns. And sometimes it's hard for me to go back and watch them because the quality is so bad and we're just using phones for cameras and the audio, and there's like droppages because of internet, but it does show the pain and the scars that we've taken on to bring you this show and to come to where we are with the series that we have. Just want to say I love you guys. We feel you even through the difficult times. You guys know I had a bit of a rough week last week, but I just want to thank you so much for everything that you guys do for the community and for us. You may have seen this. One last announcement. You may have seen it earlier this week. Melanie, who plays Callie, she posted on socials that she won't be joining us for the rest of the season. And she has decided to take some time away from RealmSmith due to personal circumstances and reasons. So we wish her all the best. She is incredible. She did an incredible job as Callie and as Isla, to be able to kind of bring a new, fresh feel and look to a character, to the game. Being a new player and jumping in and being vulnerable like that was a really incredible feat. And she brought so much joy and so many funny moments, like stab him in the eye holes and can I touch your organ, and things that we won't forget. So we wish her all the best. We love you, Mel, and we're sorry to see you go, but we will continue on and make you proud, and thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful night. I love you all. Make sure that you hug each other. Make sure that you love those around you. And you guys have an incredible evening. We'll see you on Thursday for Players Table. Take care.